September 6th, 1996. Tupac Shakur is the most successful hip-hop artist in the world.
He's no different than the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Tupac was a king of rap.
To his legions of fans, he's the ultimate gangster rapper.
Thug life, that's my family.
He's the angry voice of urban America.
Yes, I am gonna say that I'm a thug. That's because I came from the gutter.
People in the hood call him Black Jesus. They was like he was sitting here to save us.
But to the authorities and to his rivals within the world of hip-hop, he's seen as a threat.
You know, America eats its babies. No matter what y'all think about me, I'm still your child, you know?
He said many times, I'm going to die. I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory.
And soon, that prophecy will come true. This is the story of the final hours in the life of Tupac Shakur. Los Angeles, California, September 6, 1996. It's 11:30 p.m. and Tupac Shakur leaves Lacey Studios in downtown LA, where he's just finished shooting his latest video. After scoring 6 top 10 singles in the last 6 years, Tupac is riding a wave of success that other artists can only envy. But in just 24 hours, that ride will come to a sudden and brutal end. But at the urging of his manager, Tupac goes along with the plan. It will be the last trip he ever takes. Five years earlier, back in 1991, the only plan for Tupac Shakur was making it to the top in the competitive world of hip-hop. And with his first album, Tupacalypse Now, Tupac was well on his way. From the start, he forged a powerful bond with his fans, rapping about the cold reality of life on the streets.
When he put that pen to paper and he opened up his mouth on that mic, it was just, God had to be working. It seemed like every song he wrote, his life was coming out. Like it was just taking the blood out of him.
They got little Italy, little everything. They don't have a little Africa. They got the ghetto. And we think that that's ours. That's not even ours. That's just what was left over.
His songs stood up for the powerless, the poor, the forgotten, those with no political voice in society. In 1994, Shakur clearly spelled out his philosophy in an album entitled Thug Life.
But he wanted the ones who didn't think nobody gave him to see that he gave it. Thug life, to hate you gave little infants. Everyone. Thug life isn't just something for me. Thug life is for you too. Anybody. It's all that society throws at you.
Thug life is about choices. When you make the wrong choices, you end up in a life that you don't really want to be in. And that's what thug life is, against all odds. And still make it.
Tupac even had his political creed etched onto his skin.
And all his tattoos meant something. He had 50 with an AK-47 tattooed on it. And what he believed is that 50 black men can do anything. Anything. If they put their mind to it, and they were all pulling at the same time in the same direction.
Fans fell in love with his swagger and with his utter refusal to tone down his message.
Was it incendiary? Was it crazy? Were the kids screaming at his concerts? Were girls tearing off their shirts? Were guys saluting with the pistol salute in the air? Yes, they were doing all that. And I mean, that's hip hop, that's rock and roll.
Tupac's appeal went way beyond the ghetto. pulling in white, middle-class suburban kids who enjoyed the danger he brought from the other side of the tracks.
Whether it was his
Kids what is authentic to him, that they will always relate. He will never be begging for bread.
If it was attention that Tupac was looking for, he more than got it. But not always for the right reasons. As he
a way to
Enfamil NeuroPro has MFGM components to support your baby's brain development. Try today.
Secret keeps me fresh for those long flights, and it's totally middle seat approved.
You're planning to be an expendable?
you read through the paperwork.
I should have read through it. Every time I died, they just printed me out again.
We keep on swiping right to the end.
My gift to mankind.
Mickey 17, rated R.
It seems like leaders were destined to be born with confidence.
Legitimately express my anger.
eventually acquitted of all charges and pregnant with Tupac, Afeni was released from jail after spending 15 months on and off behind bars. And on June 16th, 1971, she gave birth to Tupac Amaru Shakur, who she named after a South American Incan revolutionary, the name meaning Shining Serpent.
So Shining Serpent is
or, his potential.
But in contrast to school, his life at home was stark.
I had gotten hit by a man that I was having a relationship with. And that had a very bad reaction on my son because I wouldn't allow my son to beat the man up. And that was a real breach for Tupac internally.
In June of 1988,
A bond that is based on the truth and trust. And the bond was broken with a lie. The lie being, I was using drugs, but I can handle it. That's a lie. That lie cost me dearly. Me talking about that period is different from them because in reality, I found drugs. Is what I did. I found the answer. My answer was crack.
but despite his contempt for his mother's addiction, Tupac too drifted into the world of narcotics.
He probably sold drugs for about a week.
Where the world's greatest rapper would be silenced forever.
He saw Pac had no home to go back to. And, he gave him an opportunity.
It was just the break Tupac had been waiting for. Suddenly, the teenager was circling the planet on a world tour.
Tupac had a lot of fun running around with Digital Underground. They were calling from Japan, and they were calling from London, and they were calling from Italy, and they were calling from Australia.
A natural showman, Tupac graduated from just dancing to stepping up behind the mic. The move was an immediate success.
Pac was a master at
becoming an actor. And in 1991, he made his second dream come true. He starred in the critically acclaimed film, Juice.
Juice came out. When I went to go see it, the girls were screaming. That was fly. That was something to see.
From the moment Juice came out, everybody was talking about Pac. It was just obvious that, he was on the verge of something really major. That role helped him more than the music did.
He would come downstairs and I'm a legend in my own time. And I would say, Dad, Pac, man, in another 10 years, you're gonna be the most powerful man in America. He was like, yeah, watch and see, I am.
Things were looking good for Tupac. The following year, his mother, Afeni Shakur, now clean and sober, re-entered his life. Once again, they were a family.
All that authority, and my children withdrew it. I didn't take it back. They gave it back to me.
But with the good came the bad. In 1992, Tupac was arrested for allegedly attacking a limo driver. In 1993, he was charged with assaulting another rapper with a baseball bat. In another incident, he was charged with attacking film director Alan Hughes with a weapon. In Atlanta, Georgia, he was arrested, although later released, for the alleged shooting of 2 off-duty policemen. It seemed that Tupac Amaru Shakur was taking his gangster image rather too literally.
Well, Pac, you got to
Rivals of another big LA gang, the had just finished watching a boxing match at the MGM Grand, where his close friend Mike Tyson pulverized his opponent Bruce Seldon in less than 2 minutes. Backstage, Tupac is accompanied by Suge Knight, his manager and the owner of his record company, Death Row. With them is Tupac's security guard, Frank Alexander, and various Death Row Records associates. It's clear to everyone that Tupac Shakur is still revved up from the fight.
He's just going off, man, 50 blows, 50, man, he knocked them out, 50 blows.
As the group enters the MGM Grand's lobby, one of Suge Knight's Death Row employees passes on a message to Tupac Shakur.
One of Suge's guys, his name is Trevon, came over and whispered in Tupac's right ear.
Trevon has spotted a man in the hotel lobby that he claims robbed him a few weeks earlier. The man is also a member of the Southside Crips, sworn rivals of another big LA gang, the Bloods, with whom Death Row is said to be affiliated. Tupac Shakur, the king of gangster rap, decides to teach the man a lesson.
And Pac just ran up on him and
Fired up by the boxing match, the Death Row entourage, including its CEO Suge Knight, joined Tupac in the feeding frenzy. In the chaos, less than 5 hours after his operation, and against doctors' advice, Tupac Shakur checked himself out of the hospital. He had other problems to deal with. The rapper was due in court to face rape charges brought by a 19-year-old woman. Charges he
They don't want you here. No one does.
And now, as
on the hospital bed, and he had all these tubes connected to him, and I knew then that he was gonna have to fight for his life.
For 6 days, Tupac remains in a coma. Throughout, his family gathers in an around-the-clock vigil, refusing to accept the inevitable.
We all had this thing, and I guess he did too, is to where, like, Pac is indestructible. So when he got shot the second time in Las Vegas, We're like, man, it's Pac, dude.
But on September 13th, 1996, at only 25 years old, Tupac Shakur's short but violent life comes to an abrupt end. His death leaves many feeling lost.
When he dies in the street, oh man, what is going on in America, man? What is going on in America where you make it and you still don't make it out?
Meanwhile, the criminal investigation into Tupac's murder is stonewalled when witnesses refuse to cooperate. Theories on who pulled the trigger are rife. Some suggest a revenge attack by the Crips for the beating in the MGM lobby. Some point the finger at longtime Tupac rival Biggie Smalls, who will also be shot to death 7 months later. Others still speak of a setup by Suge Knight, who knew Tupac was planning to leave Death Row Records. Whatever the truth, on the streets of LA, retaliation for Tupac's death comes fast and furious. Over a 10-day period, 12 shootings erupt between rival gangs. 3 are killed, 22 are arrested. In death, Tupac becomes even more popular. He goes on to sell over 75 million albums worldwide and enters the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest-selling rap artist of all time.
They lost a great man. They lost an activist, a poet, a rapper, a brother, a friend. He was one of the great ones. Yeah, he was.
He's not a perfect person. He's not a perfect rap star. He's not a perfect pop star. I think people liked him all the more for that.
That sense of humor, man. Dude was funny. It's not all, not all what you see, the toughness and the bravado and all of that. We did more laughing than we did any of that tough gangster.
His mother, Afeni, takes the family reins. In 1997, the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation is created to provide training and support for creative students. That same year, the University of California, Berkeley, offers a course entitled The Poetry and History of Tupac Shakur.
I speak to him all the time because it matters to me what he thinks about what we're doing. It matters to me. So I believe that he hears me.
To this day, Tupac Shakur's killer has never been found.